Hi, this is Ayush, and today I'll be sharing with you how this group, which includes me, Shubham, Khushpreet, and Jaskaran, tried solving the final project. This project required a lot of deciphering and code breakdown, and quite a bit knowledge about assembly language and IDA Pro, the software being used. The objective was simple. That's what we thought, which is to try and get the password from a binary file so that we can get the output as good job. The first thing anybody would do was run the code in IDA Pro, and that's what we did. We ran the code in IDA Pro and tried analyzing what was going on, and we were quickly able to find some of the main functions, and we got some idea what each function might be doing. The second thing was to run the code in Kali Linux and try to get any type of output, and that was when we ran into our first problem. The program was able to detect that Kali Linux was being run on virtual machine and gave us an error, no VM please. After analyzing the code, we knew it was heavily dependent on LS CPU to check if it was in virtual machine, and that was the way to bypass the no VM error, and we bypassed it by making a fake LS CPU file. The second problem we ran into was the program knew we were trying to debug it, and which after a lot of analyzing and struggle, we were able to bypass by changing the value fork function returns from 0 to 1. As you can see, the function calls fork and then CMP. We change the value 0 to 1, and voila, we were able to bypass it. And then we send in a random input to see what the output we got was. And as you can see, we got nope. That means that wasn't the password. Well, I thought it would be. Well, anyways. Next step was to analyze the unpack function, which at the time of recording seems to us the function which could help us solve the puzzle. This function has three main lib functions listed here, and after analyzing for hours and deciphering, we were able to find the string I love packing my code. And after that, we were also able to find what we thought was the hard-coded string and the memory dump string, but at the end we got stuck there and we weren't able to find the puzzle, which is the sad truth. Now my team member Kushpreet will discuss why we weren't able to find the password and what we learned.
Hi, my name is Khushpreet, and I will be sharing our reflection on the project itself and our conclusions from it. What have we learned? Reverse engineering. We learned how to reverse engineer a piece of code. This was very enlightening since it brings a completely different and unique approach to understanding a program. Next, disassembly. We learned how we can utilize a disassembler to take a deep dive into a program to learn about its functionality and extract information from the same. In our case, we used IDA Pro to disassemble the code and figure out its functionality. Next, binary hex code analysis. We learned a unique approach to finding the password through direct code analysis. This approach allowed us to find quite a few clues and important information, but it wasn't enough to get us to the password itself. Next, bypassing security measures. The analysis of the code showed us that there was an anti-debugger as well as a module to detect a virtual machine and stop program execution. We had to employ certain countermeasures to bypass these and get closer to finding the password. Lastly, we learned about clever coding. This exercise has been a great insight into clever programming. Every time we thought we nearly got it, new obstacles showed up. We have learned a few techniques that we can use in our own programming to make our programs better and more secure in the future. Why were we not successful? The main problem for us was time. At every stage of cracking the password, a new set of challenges showed up. In our case, we were able to find the anti-debugger in the code along with the code to stop execution in case a virtual machine was used. We figured out a way to bypass these checks, and we were still unable to crack the code. Even though we got certain breakthroughs that led us closer to cracking the password, we could not get over the final hurdle to get it done. We couldn't figure out the last few pieces of the puzzle, which would have surely led us to the password. Our approach was simply to do what we know. If we knew better, maybe we could have found the password. We had to rely on our limited knowledge and tools and resources on the internet, which we were not familiar with. Our approach got us very close, and with time, we believed that we would get over the line. What could we have done differently? Better planning. We could have started off with a more articulate plan. We decided to do whatever we could with the knowledge we had. Maybe delegating tasks to different members and having a set plan and breakdown of what each teammate would do could have helped us. But we were running short on time. Next, better communication. We could have communicated better with each other. Everyone set off with their own ideas at their own pace. Having teammates in different time zones, like everyone in Abbotsford and myself being in Montreal, did not help since there was a time delay causing delay in our communications. More teamwork. An extension of the first point, we could have worked more efficiently as a team. Having team members in different time zones did not help, and as there was a delay. Lastly, focusing on each other's strengths. Our approach was to tackle the problem head on with no real plan behind it. We could have utilized each member's strengths in a better and more efficient manner. Here is a plan that we think would have been successful. We feel that during this exercise, we have learned a great deal in how to approach the problem itself. At the beginning, we didn't have a concrete plan on how to approach the problem. Now, since we have given it a shot, we have learned a great deal on how we could find the password. Given more time, we could employ strategies and the knowledge that we have gained to crack the code. We are very confident that we are very close to finding the password already. If we act upon these findings, we feel that we would be able to crack the password very soon.